as I move on. Yarr! Hello bookworms, hello filmsters, I'm Katana and welcome back to another BVM. Today, we'll be discussing a story about survival. A story about hope. A story that will make you think twice about how good your life is. But, before we begin, I'm kind of famished. I haven't had a bite to eat all day, so I'm just gonna take a moment and eat this sandwich, if you don't mind. The hell? What was that all about? Did you guys hear that? No, never mind. Seriously, I think I'm hearing something. Or is it just my imagination? Huh. No, oh well. In the arms of the angel. What is this? From this dark, cold hotel room. Oh Lord, it's one of those incredibly sad commercials that just guilt you into doing something. Jeez, how did this even get in my video? Well, I guess we're safe, as long as there's not...
Hi, I'm Diane
Nope! Screw it! We're starting the review! God have mercy on my stomach. Here's The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, written by Suzanne Collins and published in 2008. This is my second reading on the book, and looking back at it with an analytical view, all I can say that it was... good. Not great. Not bad. Just... good. Let's just start with the plot. The story centers around 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen, who I will be calling Catnip for the rest of this trilogy since it's a really funny name screw up, and well, it's my show. I kinda have the power to do that. Yeah. Every year, 12 districts in this future America partake in an event known as the Hunger Games, in which two children, one boy and one girl, are pinned against other district pairs and fight to the death until one victor remains. By bad luck, Catnip's baby sister Prim is chosen, and in a strong act of bravery to save her sister, she volunteers in her place. She pairs up with her boy tribute, Peter Millark, and the story basically goes on from there, with the preparations and the actual games commencing. So brutal to even think about children killing one another for entertainment. And that's one thing personal to the book. The way these teens kill one another is pretty gruesome. Can you imagine having your head smashed in with a rock? Or being left to suffer hours while wild animals tear your body apart? It's pretty damn scary to even think about. There are some characters who do get their fair share of time in the book, such as a servant girl who Catnip feels responsible for, or the mayor of District 12's daughter who has some kind of friendship going on with Catnip. They had their moments, but not enough to give screen time for. Okay, I do have my fair share of pros and cons with the book, so without dwelling so much on negativity, let's start with what's great about the book. There's no way I could go on with this review without discussing the female protagonist role. By God, I was so damn pleased to see how strong Catnip was. She's a hunter, and she knows how to take care of herself. Even with her father dying in a mine explosion, she becomes a provider to the family since her mother became such a huge wreck. I found it funny how she had to force herself to become this stereotypical role of being cute and charming in order to get people to like her. Just knowing how much she hated playing that role made me respect her even more for who she really was. On the topic of characters, I would say that the only two that kept me interested were Haymitch and Rue. Haymitch acted like a drunk and asshole on their first encounter, but I could see why. Year after year, losing tributes under his care just made him not see the point in caring anymore, but once realizing both Catnip and Peter's potential, he actually started to become a likable guy. Rue was like, honest to God, the little sister Catnip never had, considering how she even compares her to Prim by age. The time they shared during the games and the way they took care of each other was so beautiful that it actually emphasized my feelings on just how cruel these games were. I wish I could go more into the great parts and how awesome this book was, but that's where the cons started to ruin it for me. The story is told mainly through Catnip and her thoughts, And boy, there's so much explaining. I could tolerate her thinking because it's natural to strategize while trying to survive, but there were times I felt like Collins just wanted to get all the details out of the way, doing more telling than showing. Many tales like the Avox girl or Prim's goat would just derail from the story and go to its own place. If she was telling this stuff to PETA, it would have been fine, but it's all in her head, telling the reader, which just slows the pace of the Hunger Games. A name that sounds like the action should be the focus, but in reality, it's read with a bunch of reflecting thoughts, filler sentences that seem to repeat itself, and little to no dialogue. But overall, it is as it is. Good. Now I think that's enough for my initial thoughts on the book. Now let's see how the movie tries to tell this child-friendly story. Here's the adaptation to The Hunger Games. So the movie begins with something every moviegoer loves. Reading! It's not even the interesting kind either like Star Wars. More like my half-assed critics I can do in 10 minutes. These sentences fill us in on the quick history of the Hunger Games, then the scene moves on to the game maker who is talking about the history? Then why not just do the Q&A instead of these reading cards? This is gonna be a long movie.
This is your third year as game maker. What defines your personal signature?
Well, take note of that, folks. Wes Bentley is dignified by the screams of agony. No, we are actually introduced to a scared Prim and our comforting lead, Catnip. Prim is put back to bed with a song, which really isn't right considering it's the middle of the day, but whatever Catnip says goes. She leaves her sister to rest as she threatens the smelly cat and trespasses into the woods to hunt. She finds a deer and tries to go for the kill.
What are you gonna do with that when you kill it?
Damn you, Gale. It's not funny.
Yeah, Gale! She was just about to make Bambi an orphan! She meets with her hunting partner Gale, and just as they double team on innocent pigeons, a random hovercraft flies over them. Well, clearly that scene wasn't important enough to go into full detail, so might as well move on to the colorful Effie Trinket supervising the preparations for the reaping. And we're back to Catnip and Gale. Seriously movie, lay off the scene jumps. We'll get to the tragedy soon. So Catnip and Gale have a heart-to-heart talk about running away and baby talk and the reaping about to commence until they get bored and leave and sell their goods at the Hob, aka the black market.
Thank you, girl.
What's this?
That's a mockingjay.
How much?
You keep it. It's yours.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that's just it then. Who needs to introduce the daughter Madge and make the passing of the pen somewhat touching when we could just find it in the grimy market and give it away like it's freaking
Hubba Max. A whole new kind of bubble. Hey!
So more depressing shots on everyone crying and praying for the best as Catnip returns home to clean up and change while making sure her mom is still dead to her.
Oh, you look beautiful too.
Wish I looked like you.
Oh no. You wanna see what I got you today? It's a mockingjay pen.
Hey, what gives?
As long as you have it, nothing bad will happen to you.
Stop passing it around like it's a freaking bottle cap. It has meaning! We jump to seeing every young citizen of District 12 prick their fingers and line up to start the reaping. Effie starts by showing a video clip so patriotic it's making those Army Nation commercials look like parodies.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me.
Also, that was another way to explain the history. The reading at the beginning is actually starting to look stupid now. After that history lesson, Effie draws out the names, and because God is such a dick to first-timers, Prim is chosen. And, well, you know how the rest goes.
I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute!
Gale pulls Prim away from Catnip as she's accepted as a tribute, and we all meet the one playing for the boys, Peter Malark. With those two picked, the reaping finally ends. But hold on, aren't we forgetting something? Something that happened in the book? Something a particular mentor did something super embarrassing that TMZ will be all over? No? Huh. Oh, must have been my imagination then. So one by one, family and loved ones are meeting with the tributes before they leave, starting with Catnip's mom and Prim.
Just trying to win. Maybe you can.
Maybe I can. I am smart, you know.
You can hunt.
Exactly.
To protect you.
Oh, for the love of... This is all wrong! In the book, there's a girl named Madge, wealthy than the rest, but similar to Catnip that she keeps to herself, so they shared kind of a weird pack at school. Catnip never thought they were friends, but Madge would show up to this 3-minute meeting, handing her the pin and wishing her good luck, confirming that they indeed were friends. This movie gives no personal value to the pin, a pin that's in the cover of the freaking poster! They treat it as if Granny Everdeen gave him a gift so tacky, so obnoxious, they pass it off like, Grandma told me to give you this, she said you would love it. Hey, Grandma said to give it back for good luck. And that's another thing, what did Prim say when she gave the pin back?
To protect you.
And where did she get that line?
To protect you.
And where did she hear that line? Oh, no reason to jump back, you won't find it here. Because the pin carried no meaning, and because Prim was about to have another nervous breakdown, Catnip had to think of some bullshit on the spot, trying to give it some meaning, only to have it thrown back at her face for the games. That's not touching! It can't be if she knew that just a few scenes ago she fished it out of a toolbox! And hey, the book doesn't explain the meaning of this pin either, but at least the delivery was genuine. Not this! Anyway, after Prim gets dragged out, it's time for Gale to say his goodbye.
You're stronger than they are. You are. Get to a bow.
There's 24 of us, Gail. Only one comes out.
Yeah. And it's gonna be you. Okay,
Take care of them, Gail. Whatever you do, don't let them starve.
let's go.
Wait, what?
See you soon, okay?
That was barely a minute! Well, this movie confirms it. There really isn't that much time for love. So both Catnip and Peter are escorted to the train where they await their mentor Haymitch, who doesn't look the least bit hammered. In fact, I think he's learned to be one with the bottle.
Most of you aren't in such a hurry.
Yeah, I wanna know what the plan is. You're our mentor. You're supposed to go...
Mentor?
Yeah, our mentor. You're supposed to tell us how to get sponsors and give us advice.
Oh, okay. Embrace the probability of your imminent death. And know, in your heart, that there's nothing I can do to save you.
Imminent death? Nothing you could do? Where's the funny Haymitch from the book? You know, here's some advice. Stay alive. Get this depressing liver killer out of my face. So, after not punching out as they did in the book, Pete and Haymitch exit scene. Catnip watches scary TV, and the day switches over to breakfast time, where Haymitch actually gives some decent advice to Catnip about how getting people to like her will be the key to survival. Soon they arrive at the Capitol and head straight to the makeup department, more gloomy and dark than magical. Catnip waits alone for her stylist Cinna, who prepares her for the parade in the most wildest impression possible, burning her alive.
Come on, I love it.
Yeah, it's not like we were told to do this by a certain stylist. I completely came up with it on my own. So, to no surprise, the crowd loves him, and as the Capitol President Snow stands, he welcomes all to the annual Hunger Games. They end the day heading to their designated tower rooms and sleep it off until the next phase, training. We enter this super awesome montage! Until one of the tributes start breaking the rules by starting a fight about the missing knife.
You little punk! He took my knife! Then take his get off me! Just sit it. I'll finish you right now, kid, huh? Actually, better yet.
Clever girl, clever squirrel. The next scene takes them to dinner, and both Catnip and Peter are talking each other up.
I hear you can shoot.
I'm alright.
She's better than all right. My father buys her squirrels. He says she hits him right in the eye every time.
Pete is strong.
What?
He can throw a 100-pound sack of flour right over his head. I've seen it.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna kill anybody with a sack of flour.
No, but you might have a better chance of winning if somebody comes after you with a
I
knife.
have no chance of winning. None. All right?
Jesus! That came out of nowhere! How did we go from this happy face to...
I have no chance of winning. None. All right?
What's going on here? Well, after that tense moment, it's back to another training montage, where we learn that Peter actually does suck. The other tributes start looking at him like an easy kill, so Catnip suggests he shows off his real skills, which doesn't happen in the book at all and is really just showing his good hand too early. Everyone always thinks I'm multi-grain, but I'm whole, goddammit! Whole grain rules! So after that performance, Pia defies all laws of nature, changing from bread to tree, Haymitch stalks snooty capital children playing tribute, and it's finally time to be judged on their skills, starting with Catnip, which again derails from the book since it's the boys who go first in each district. They couldn't even get the order right. Getting used to the bow, she misses the first time, losing their attention. Second time around she does it right, but the game makers already lost interest. First is the worst. Second is the best. Third could be the one with the arrow in your chest. Catnip returns to her team, being scolded by Effie and praised by Haymitch until the announcement for the scorings come in. Peter makes an okay 8, but Catnip wins with a mighty 11. Praise the Girl of Fire! So their next course of action are the interviews, hosted by a man we've seen at the beginning, Caesar Flickerman. And if we just alter the tune to his theme, it would sound a lot like something else.
Ladies and gentlemen, your master of ceremonies,
John C.
One by one, the tributes show off their style and personality until it's Catnip's turn to be awkward and twirl for her fans like a bubbly airhead, and Peter, being incredibly charming and prepared with a small confession.
So, Pete, tell me, is there a special girl back home?
Well, there is this one girl that I've had a crush on forever.
Tell you what, Peter. You go out there and you win this thing. And when you get home, she'll have to go out with you.
I don't think winning's gonna help me at all.
And why not?
Because she came here with me.
What the hell was that? You don't talk to me and then you say you have a crush on me? You say you want to train alone? Is that how you want to play?
Stop it!
Huh?
Stop it!
Let's start right now!
Reality TV, folks. Can't you just feel the flare between these star-crossed lovers? The night is young and neither of them could sleep, so they meet up and talk for a while about their worries and promises, wondering how the games might change them for better or worse. When morning comes, every tribute is prepared for liftoff. They get their trackers inserted, Catnip says a final goodbye to Cinna, and enters the magical tube to be lifted. She and the other tributes reach the forest arena, and after 60 seconds, the bloodshedding begins! And what better way to make this more dramatic than by replacing actual violence with music better fitted for some black and white student film? Seriously, listen to this! Hello? 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 See ya! Goodbye. Catnip stumbles down the hill in her attempt to run far away from the fighting, giving herself time to check her supplies. And from here on out, the shots are mainly her trying to survive. But one of them really grinds my gears. In the book, it practically took her a day to find water. She was thirsty, she was dying, so why is it that she finds it in what I assume is 5 fucking minutes? Way to show some struggle in the games, movie. The stars are out and Catnip takes a look at all the fallen tributes for the day. She tries to sleep but is awakened by the sound of another tribute dying by the hands of an alliance, using Peter to search for Catnip. Total number of dead tributes?
That makes 13 gone in the first 8 hours.
Technically it's 12, but who's counting? Right? Right? The next day, Catnip travels further away from the action, making the game makers raise hell to push her back into murder boundaries. It's a me, Mario! The flames continue to grow wild enough for Catnip to slip up, resulting in a terrible burn on her thigh. Only you could prevent wildfire. Nope! Using her signature twirl, she escapes to a pool of water, only to be discovered by the Alliance. They chase her up a tree like giggling Purge participants, and once realizing they lack the ability to climb trees, Peter decides to wait her out. During the night, the Alliance is awake, and Catnip receives medicine for her burn. During the morning, the Alliance is fast asleep. Apparently they don't believe in keeping guard and watching their kill, which works in Catnip's favor as another tree-hugging tribute, Rue, comes to show her the Tracker Jacker's nest. And what exactly is a Tracker Jacker?
Tracker Jackers are genetically engineered wasps whose venom causes searing pain, powerful hallucinations, and, in extreme cases, death.
Thank you! So Catnip climbs to the nest, cutting the branch while getting stung in the process, and drops a buttload of jackers on their enemies. This whole operation actually happened during the night, but if that were the case, we wouldn't be able to see the dying face of Glimmers more clearly. With the camera being super drunk and buffering, Catnip grabs the bow from Glimmer's cold dead hands and is confronted by 3 PETAs screaming, "What are you doing? Go!" So she runs far enough before passing out, getting a weird dream of her deceased father and the explosion that killed him. Which really sucks. God, I was hoping to see that book's route with the trees turning to blood and a million ants taking over her body. Trust me when I say that's a bad trip. Catnip wakes up from her fever dream, realizing Rue has been taking care of her for the past 2 days. Which she had no reason to, and she never explains why she did it. In fact, this whole alliance just happens because reasons. Not because Catnip found her and asked, but because reasons. So the Tree Huggers are now a team, and their first plan of action? Destroying the Purge Alliance's food supply. Rue sets off a campfire for distraction while Catnip plans to strike! The announcers spoil the surprise, saying that mines are planted, and Catnip stands back while watching another tribute, Foxface, go full on Metal Snake. Kid, whoever put you on guard with those delayed sloth reactions, they ought to be murdered on the spot. With the guard, well, not guarding, Catnip steps forward and cuts open a bag of apples to activate an explosion so sexy Michael Bay will be all over it. Okay, first, how did Kato not see her? She was clearly in his line of vision. Second, the book describes her escape being wobbly and disoriented after weighing it out in the bush. But there was no bush, and she bolts out of there. The camera should either be drunk again, or are we just to assume that the movie made another supercut? So Catnip is safe from harm as she starts to wonder where, oh where has her little Rue gone? You know, I'm not an expert in survival, but wouldn't screaming another person's name so loud the Mockingjays wouldn't respond pretty much be a death sentence in this situation? This isn't just a movie, the book's at fault too. I mean, this wouldn't be a problem with anyone else, but it's Rue. She's already proven to be sneaky, smart, and doing this can only lead to... Did you imagine it any other way? So Rue dies, Catnip sings her death and cries over her body. Jim, did the cannon stop working? I believe we have 2 dead. What? No, just ran out of firepower. But shouldn't we be keeping things consistent? Who cares? They can see they're dead, can't they? I'm not paid enough for this. Catnip, you doll. How did you know Snow White was her favorite fairy tale? Now she can wait for her Prince Charming forever. To the movie's credit, it really does give a solid job getting perspective on the outside world. With the scene of District 11 completely going apeshit against the Capitol, it does show the tragedy of what the games create. Thank you, Hunger Games 2 dog. I applaud you. We get this quick scene about the game maker deciding to kill Catnip as a statement to District 11, but Haymitch steps in to persuade changing that hate into something more.
Give them something to root for.
Such as?
Young love.
This creates the announcement that both tributes from the same district can win together. Catnip goes off to find PETA, somehow knowing where to look, and finds him stone-faced and wounded. So Catnip carries them to a cave for safe hiding, and I'm just gonna say this now, only one of them looks like a true survivor. Why does PETA look like a smoky mess, while Catnip is as clean as a baby's butt? She fell off fire, got blown away by an explosion. So where are the scratches? Where are the marks? You know what I think? Catnip has some secret paradise stash with berries and squirrels, and I wanna know now! A kiss a day will keep the hunger away. So Catnip spends her time healing PETA back to health, sharing good memories and moments until another announcement comes up telling the tributes about a feast holding an item each of them need, and in her position, it's medicine for PETA. PETA tells her to stay, Catnip kisses him into silence, promises to stay, but then leaves overnight. She arrives at the early bird special, but is assaulted by Clove, and finally draws blood. Seriously, I was this close to believing she has some sort of invisible bubble shield. Clove pins Catnip down and does some really meaningless trash talk instead of killing her. Really. It's not even clever, it's just stating the obvious.
Oh, I see. You were gonna help him, right?
Yep.
That little girl, what was her name again? Rue?
Yep.
Well, we killed her.
Yep.
She talks long enough for Thresh to come in and avenge Rue.
You kill her? I heard you. Say her name. Say her name.
Oh, PG-13, why you gotta ruin the fun? Smashing the rock over this chair mouse head was much more enjoyable than this middle school locker bully shit. I don't even see how that could have killed her. Maybe scoliosis, but not kill. Thresh spares Catnip in honor of Rue, and she runs back to the cave and gives PETA the medicine.
PETA, I got it. I got the medicine.
What happened to you?
I'm fine.
No, you're not. What happened?
She became real! That wound is enough to satisfy the audience that she isn't cheating. Let us have this!
So much better.
Yeah, it's as if the director decided, no, we like our way of keeping her clean in this game of Play Survival. Thank you, ShamWow Medicine! So after it healed up, Catnip and PETA continue to survive as they plan to end the game once and for all. Finding berries and dead tributes along the way, the final night arrives as they are chased down by hellhounds known as the Mutations. They run to the top of the cornucopia, escaping the dogs, but meeting up with a wounded Kato, beginning the finale with the remaining tributes. Kato tries to feed Catnip to the dogs, but PETA comes in and brings a heavyweight smackdown on him, only to be captured and turned into an ultimatum.
Go on. Shoot. And we both go down and you win. I can still do that. One more kill. It's the only thing I know how to do. Bring pride to my district.
You touch my man, you lose that hand! So Kato literally becomes dog food, the Cannon Man comes back alive and crowns him the winner.
Attention tributes. There has been a slight rule change. The previous revision, allowing for 2 victors from the same district, has been revoked. Only 1 victor may be crowned. Good luck.
What? The game maker goes back on his word, but Catnip isn't taking that crap, so she resolves this with the best answer. Double suicide.
1,
2.
Stop!
Oh, come on! At least let the berries enter their mouths! Whoops! Not wanting to gamble no winners, the game maker again changes his mind and announces District 12 the victors. The next scene showed them back in the real world, with Haymitch telling Catnip she made the Capitol look like fools, and in order to keep them from destroying her life, she has to keep up the charades with loving Peeta. With a final train ride back home, the two heroes are safe for now, ending the Hunger Games. Now, looking at both the book and the movie, they really didn't help me find middle ground for either of them. The book has problems with long narrations and a slow pace. The movie went by too fast, I couldn't absorb anything to realize how bad the games actually were. So, in comparison, book wins! After seeing this movie, I might as well take back all my complaints about the book dragging on. At least the book provided context. This movie felt like it wanted to be over soon, so it just scrunched everything to get to the ending faster, trying to look artsy, but instead came out with rushed storytelling. There are many problems the movie lost. For one, it couldn't capture Catnip's thought process during the games. The book is composed on their thoughts to survive, and people could read that. Visually seeing that ended up with a silent hunter tossing her actions around for anyone's wild interpretation. Take the scene with her and Peeta in the cave. For those who haven't read the book, did you really think they were falling in love? Hate to break it to you, but while it looked like she was staring at him like this, he was really nothing more than a free meal ticket. Without those details supporting the character's actions, I completely forgot how strong Catnip was in the book, and instead saw this fragile and scared girl who just wants someone to hold. It completely destroyed my image of her. Another problem is the cuts. The damn cuts! In the book, the days Catnip lasted in the forest were 2 weeks. 2 weeks! But because the movie moved so quick, it felt more like 5 days. Maybe it would have worked if they noted the days every morning, but again, the movie doesn't provide that kind of detail. In fact, if it was only 5 days, I can actually believe Catnip, or anyone for that matter, not seeing hunger as an issue. And that leads to probably the biggest flaw in this movie. Nobody looks fucking hungry. As far as bruises and scratches go, I could not see any changes to their appearance from start to finish. This reminded me of one of those bad survival reality shows where once the camera stops rolling, it's off to the buffet table. Seriously, that's how it felt. The movie made a decent attempt to create this horrifying event, but if you actually want to feel these victims trying to survive, the book's definitely got you covered there. I recommend reading the book if you haven't, tolerate the movie if you wish, and make up your own opinion. I'm Katana, and I can't take it anymore. I'm eating this sandwich!
Hello, I'm Diana Pureheart.
Hello, Diana Pureheart.
With an easy donation of everything you own, you can help this screaming child to rest.
Hello? Where's the wallet?
May your bills be ever in my favor.
Hey guys, just wanted to say thanks for watching this review. If you haven't already, why not click that subscribe button on the side right there to be updated on the next review? And while waiting, why not check out my last review on Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets Edition? Got a book/movie adaptation you want to see in the near possible future? Well, just leave it in the comments down below and I'll be sure to check it out. Until the next review, Chia-yo! Was that good? Was that good? Was it? Ah, never mind, the review is over. Okay, bye!